Here we are, and here's what my problem has been. For some reason, I got this part right, and I think I got it. Except for the whole p-value and where I put that in the technology, aka StatCrunch. Because, well, my math lab is great about telling me to use technology. It doesn't tell me how to use that. So, in this problem, we see that 20 years ago, so our null hypothesis is our p null is equal to 54% of parents of children in high school felt it was a serious problem that students weren't being given enough or taught enough math and science. And a recent survey has found that 307 of 800 parents of children in high school are feeling the same way. And then the question is, the hypothesis that we're wanting to know is, do parents feel differently today than they did 20 years ago? And they want me to use a level of significance of 0.01. Okay, so here's what I got. My H0, my null hypothesis, is that the probability is equal to 0.54, 54%. The hypothesis we're checking, our alternative hypothesis, is that P1 is in fact not equal to 0.54, and parents feel differently. All right, so I go and make my p hat, because this is in the last survey they did. So 307 people had the X characteristic, meaning they found that there's problems with high school not teaching enough math and science. And my N, which is my sample population, is 800. So X is 307, N is 800. I come and plug those magic numbers in, right? This is our whole NPO times PO and 1 minus PO. So N times PO, or rather the null probability, multiplied then by the 1 minus the null probability. All right, so I put in all those numbers. I got 198.72. StatCrunch wants me to do it at, or StatCrunch. This thing wants me to do it at 1 decimal, which gives us 198.7, which when I put that all in, said I was correct. All right, so I know that 198.7 is in fact greater than 10. I know that 800 people is well at or below the 5% mark, which is where we want that small sample to be, right? The sample is assumed random. They didn't outright say it like in earlier questions. So the test requirements are met, and that's true. So I know this is all correct. So I come over here to find my null Z score. And this was the pain. This took me a little bit to understand, because this little p hat I messed up on. But anyhow, so I got it. So that's the equation. This is it worked out. Okay, I am not going to walk through all this, but I will tell you, as I broke it down, and it came out smaller and smaller, and then bigger decimals, right? And then I did that, and then I came down here with this big negative 8.86725, so on, so on, so on number. And of course, with all that wonderful work, my math lab only wants 2 decimal places. All right, so we go with negative 8.87. And sure enough, that was the right answer. So I got that. Now, here's the tricky part, and this is where I don't understand what calculator I should be using in StatCrunch to really plug this stuff in and figure it out. The p-value. I put in 0.0, and I told it submit, check answer, because I figured it was going to tell me I was wrong and give me a new equation to use, because I'm not sure what I'm supposed to use this on in the StatCrunch page. But apparently 0.0 was a correct answer, even though it says round to 3 decimal places as needed. I can tell you the answer is 0.000 something. That's as far as I can tell you. Now, I know that since the p-value is less than our level of significance, I can reject the null hypothesis, include that there is sufficient evidence that parents feel differently today. So I got the answer right, but the problem is this p-value is going to come kick me in the butt later if I don't figure out where in the StatCrunch, I'm supposed to plug and play these actual numbers. It's one thing to put it here. This is all wonderful. If there was a crazy equation that I could figure out, or maybe I've glanced over or I've missed, this wouldn't be a problem. But I know that if I can't figure this out, this is going to hurt me for the rest of everything, including our upcoming project. So any help would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much.